Hello? Hello? Is this sure witty? Is this sure witty? Is this sure witty? Notice these motherfuckers don't have a man. Motherfuckers on YouTube trying to overcompensate for not getting no dick. Trying to overcompensate for not getting no dick. Worrying about niggas' vehicles and shit. Number one, you put my real name on your titles, which I never put.
Derell, we been through your real name. The Svengalis doxed you 3 years ago.
Exactly. So you still shouldn't do it. They don't make it right.
Svengalis doxed you 3 years ago. Svengalis doxed you 3 years ago. Svengalis doxed you 3 years ago.
Number one, you put my real name on your titles, which I never put.
Derell, we been through your real name. The Svengalis doxed you 3 years ago.
Hello everyone, my name is Dempsey Spears. I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas. I am the owner and director of Transitional Life Counseling. My name is Dempsey Spears. Dempsey Spears.
Anti-Afro Svengalis, before I address what you heard at the top of the video, I need to make this very clear. Top priority for those in the mental health field is preserving life. You assess for suicidal ideation, homicidal ideation, whether someone is gravely disabled, which means they are unable to take care of their basic needs, any risk to national security as stated under the Patriot Act. That's the ultimate bottom line for mental health professionals. So take a look at the screen here. You have 2 licensed mental health professionals who have absolutely no problem invoking, encouraging, and stoking violence. You have Dumpsey, Derell / Dempsey Spears talking about putting his foot up people's asses and he's going to kick your effing ass, XYZ. You have Cher Whitty, who talks about the need to bleed people out and cut their heads off and bury them. I just wanted to make sure you were aware about these contradictions. These are 2 licensed mental health professionals. I wanted to make sure people realize what you heard this individual state, that I doxed Dempsey 3 years ago. We're in 2022, so that would have been 2019. So the video that played was posted in July 2017. I don't expect this individual to come back online and acknowledge the misinformation that she is spreading in these YouTube streets about me and Rev G doxing Dumpsey. It's of no consequence to us. We are letting people know who continue to ask us, how did these things get started? So you have individuals who are aware of this audio that's still on the internet. The link is at the bottom, that Dempsey recorded this video in 2017 where he is saying his own name. They disregard that. And why is that? Because the truth sometimes is just too damn boring. So this individual is spewing something out, and where did she get that from? She just spews it out, gives no evidence and no reference. And I assure you, she doesn't care that she's unable to come up with any information pre-2017 or pre-July 2017, where me and Rev G are running around these YouTube streets spewing Dempsey's name. Dempsey has been saying his own name in public. He started out doing that. Either way it goes, he is a public servant, and you can't dox somebody as far as their name if they're a public servant. Remember TCTV Couch Potato Ghost said that about Gerald's wife when they went and snagged her picture off of Psychology Today? Well, she's a public servant. Well, you can't dox her. She has nothing to do with YouTube. So they make these special rules for themselves, but guess what? It's not relevant to us because we know they're full of shit. They're the ones who started these original attack panels. They started the attack panels. Dumpsey, TCTV Ghost Couch Potato, Binary Castaway, and other members of Dumpsey's flunky crew, whose names are contraband, who he paid to participate and engage in all types of atrocities. I could go on forever, but I'm not. I realize Dempsey is trying to distract from the fact that he's getting these community consequences, and I'm not going to sit here and answer to all of his idiotic ramblings. I am not going to waste my time. I never saw it as productive to hop on all these panels what, try to beg people to listen to my side and believe what I say when you bring documentation that they're going to ignore? No, thank you. I can spend my time more effectively with people who support what I'm doing and they're interested in looking at the truth. If it's right there in front of your face, in instances where people don't agree or support what you're doing or saying, it doesn't result in someone threatening to kill you or rape you or call you a bitch, a slut, and a whore, or say, as a married man, you're screwing a gay man or you're a lesbian. I don't know what goes on in these people's lives and I'm not interested. That doesn't go on in my life. So I'm not going to come to YouTube seeking that out. I run for the hills when I see any hint of that. I don't have any interest in talking to people who have those proclivities. I'm not interested in hearing a supposed heterosexual man talk about other men's penises. Ladies, please help me out with this. And I'm going to give you some advice thereafter. Can you imagine talking to your boyfriend or your husband and he's talking about another man's penis? Shouldn't the only penis of discussion or action be your husband's or boyfriend's? What the hell purpose does it serve for a married man who says he's happily married to constantly talk about other men's penises, dicks, as he says? Essentially, everything he says involves dicks of other men. Never his. He never talks about his. He talks about his money. He talks about his so-called success. He talks about these fake-ass titles, but never, ever does he talk about his own penis. He's always focusing on other men's penises. I suggest you run fast for the hills if you have a boyfriend or a husband who is fixated on the penises of other men. I absolutely did not want anyone to think the crap that Dempsey was going around saying was actually true. Now, I'm not going to address all of the nonsense he is spewing out in these YouTube streets because I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to take away from the fact that he's getting those community consequences that are long overdue. He's being called out by the community for his conduct, and he cannot handle it. He's completely in tatters. But I don't want to interrupt a necessity that absolutely needs to continue to happen. So please continue doing what you're doing, folks, calling him out, not letting him off the hook. I, however, could not let this grand lie continue to be spewed out into these YouTube streets that Dumpsey has legal papers on me, and that is why I've been silent. No, I'm repeating, I have been silent because the community consequences are being meted out in the most appropriate, consistent, persistent, unrelenting manner. Why would I interrupt that? I'm not going to interrupt it. Let him keep spewing all these outrageous lies. But the most outrageous lie is that he has legal paperwork. He has me under constraints that I'm unable to speak on him. You liar. You know you are a liar. I will tell you what Dempsey, Derell / Dempsey Spears did. He went onto the internet and got an assembly line cease and desist letter and put it together, and it's all messed up with these marks in it and like it's been cut off, and he sent it to my professional mail station. And now he's getting up here in these YouTube streets trying to say I'm quiet because he has me handled. You are a liar. You're doing what you do best, lying through your teeth. You mean to tell me, people, that this person over the last how many years has engaged in repetitive, persistent, unrelenting sexual harassment towards me and many other people, men and women? So now he thinks he's going to come on here and try to tell people we can't talk about that? That's what he's trying to convince you of. I'm here to tell you he is a liar. He is not a judge. And even if that letter had been signed by an attorney, which it was not, I guess it was secretary signed it, it's not binding. Only a judge's orders are binding. And there's no judge in this land that is going to sit up here and tell someone they can't speak on the fact that they're being sexually harassed. We have tons of evidence. I don't even need to tell you all. You've heard what Dumpsey says. Always talking about what? You heard at the top of the video, talking about dicks. I have never heard a supposed straight man speak so much about dicks without mentioning his own. He talks about how women are effing their dogs, screwing their dogs, engaging in bestiality, are whores or sluts. You name it. This is Dempsey. He always goes to the sexual degradation place with men and women, in particular when he's in a fit of rage. Now, let me make it clear. Dempsey likes to brag that he's got this qualification, he's got that qualification, and one of the most disturbing realities is that Dempsey is provisionally approved to provide domestic violence treatment services for men who are in the justice system as a result of an arrest for domestic violence. Hello, is that computing with, is that some problem going on here? Is this consistent or inconsistent with the serious problem that has been identified in this video thus far? Invoking violence and then claiming to be a service provider that is aiming to assist people with utilizing other strategies aside from violence to resolve conflict? No. He's invoking violence right here with another licensed therapist. The nerve of this dude to get on here to try to imply that he has any authority or power to shut me up. It has to be a judge, and no judge is going to comply. Let me tell you something, people. Dempsey needs to be checking in with his friend in federal court and ask her how things are going. Not very well. You cannot come up in any sort of legal forum and make all of these claims that you can't substantiate. Dempsey cannot substantiate a single claim that he has made about me and others in these YouTube streets who are simply repeating what he stated. And we have it documented. It's documented what he stated. He cannot shut anybody up. We are speaking the truth. It is not sexual harassment to come onto a public stage and repeat what somebody stated and talk about it. It is not a crime to play the audio of it. These are Dempsey's words. He's engaged in this mess throughout all of these years. And he felt safe and secure, just like Umar Johnson, because his targets were Black folks. He never thought he'd see the day where people would finally take a stand against him. He didn't even get it when he has been sanctioned formally, warned formally by the board. He stepped to it when he stole from the white folks. Yes, you stole money from the white folk, and they caught you. You have a formal disciplinary action on your license. You are unable to supervise people who are attempting to become licensed because you're not trustworthy. That privilege has been rescinded. You're unable to supervise people who in the future are seeking to become licensed professional mental health providers. They put that on you, and you continue to lie about things. And now he thinks he can get on here and say and do whatever he wants, but dictate the terms as to our reaction. No, you will not be able to tell me what I'm going to do or say. You engaged in sexual harassment. And if you're worried about the impact on your business, you should have thought about that before you opened up your mouth how many years ago? You said what you said. You can't stop us from letting other people know what you said. The only way you can accomplish that task is if you never said it. All of these outrageous claims he's making, let him make the claims. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty, he can't produce any proof, just like his friend in federal court. This leveled all of these wild accusations. The judge is like, oh, really? Well, let's see the evidence. There's no excuse if you're on YouTube and you're claiming somebody did something to you, because trust me, it wouldn't be off YouTube. I don't know these people. I've never had any discussions with Dempsey or this other person. So what you're saying has to have occurred on YouTube. If it occurred on YouTube, you can produce the evidence. If you can't produce the evidence, you know what happens? Your case gets tossed. And this federal case has already allowed one person to exit the case because the criteria was not met. We already saw how the criteria was not met for the restraining order. You can say anything you want. You need proof, and there is no proof of something that never occurred. Our approach is to demand that you lay out these claims, which you should have done when you filed the lawsuit. Date, time, location, quotes, timestamps. And you're identifying who said it. And there are other issues going on with that case that make it inappropriate to be in federal court. We are looking for a ruling from a judge to say, I'm kicking you to the curb because you don't meet the standard. You can say whatever you want about people. You need proof. And we have the proof as to Dumpsey. So him running around here trying to make you all seem as though you have to be quiet about what he said and did. We don't have to be quiet. And I thank everybody out there who is handing Dumpsey his community consequences. I can assure you I am not sitting by idly. The wheels are turning, and he will soon enough find out what that is. In the meantime, there will not be any assembly line cease and desist letter that is going to tell me I have to be silent. He comes up with the most outrageous lies, and this is one that I wasn't going to let stand. If Dumpsey ever had the nerve to actually file a lawsuit, you know what he's going to see in that courtroom? A Macy's ticker tape parade marching through with all of these witnesses, with audio, with screenshots, with all of the things Dumpsey has said about them, the sexually harassing behavior from A to Z. He has targeted people for the protected class issues. He doesn't care if you're a man or you're a woman. He has come after you sexually. He came after one brother and stated that the brother loves to have sex with men. The brother is married, and the wife approves of this conduct. That is slander. That is sexual harassment. He's calling people whores and sluts. And like I stated before, that they're having sex with their dogs, that they've got erectile dysfunction, that their mouth is so big they can swallow a whole penis. It goes on and on and on and on. And it doesn't even matter who the person is. The issue is Dumpsey said it. The person can't say, oh my gosh, he said that and it doesn't bother me. No, he made the statements, and it is sexual harassment, and it is against the law. Dumpsey cannot tell us we have to be silent because we are repulsed and disgusted that he has gone on and thought he can get away with what he's doing. And when the white man stepped to him, he still didn't get it. A formal sanction on his license for Medicare fraud, and go ahead and complain about that. This is a document that's publicly available. So people, don't listen to a damn thing Dumpsey says. He cannot render us silent. I encourage all of you who are interested in having your rights protected, check the links at the bottom. Join the lawsuit. The Breaking the Culture of Silence is getting underway if you have been on the receiving end of Dempsey Spears, Derell, Dempsey Spears, however he wants to call himself on any given day, sexual harassment. This has gone on for far too long, and he does not like the fact that he can't threaten us into silence. You will fail. You don't control anything I do over here. You don't pay any of the bills. You don't control my keystrokes on my keyboard. You don't tell me where I navigate on the computer. You have no control over who I complain to, when, what, where, and how, and for what reason. And he doesn't have that control over you either. So all this tough talking, I'm going to put papers on people. You put an assembly line letter on me that wasn't even signed by an attorney. It's legal services, shield, what you get on the internet. That's not binding. You cannot tell me I have to be silent about what you did to me. I can speak on it, and I am going to speak on it. If I want to speak on what you did to other people as well, I'll do that too. Because it's in the public domain. You put it there, and that's where it is. Why don't you ask Grandmaster Jay about that? Made all those statements on YouTube, And now look what he's facing, criminal charges. You are pretty much in the same boat because you have a smorgasbord of all of these reprehensible, vile, disgusting comments that are indeed sexual harassment. So your threats fall on deaf ears. People, I will be sure to keep you updated on the process that I am undergoing. Do not forget to check out the links at the bottom. People, I want to make sure you do not touch that dial because there's more to come after you hear buyer beware.
Cause I think you're cool. But I don't know. Bro, you in trouble. You may want to shut down your page again. Because, like, my phone is literally getting full of screenshots. I'm low on memory. Y'all are literally giving us the receipts. Rev, you said you lost your job. You got a new job. If you want to keep this new job, social worker, I don't think you're licensed anyway, so it don't matter. If you don't have a license, it's hard to call yourself a social worker, but you're still a human service worker and a wannabe professional. If you're bipolar, you are a vulnerable adult, I hate to tell you. And I got a feeling Al got some shit going on with him too. I got a couple more times to interact with Al. I think Al might be a cluster B. Something's going on with y'all. Y'all need to chill. Y'all doing too much. You too old for this. Don't you have some grandkids somewhere? Don't you have some grandkids who sit on your lap? Just go chill somewhere. Y'all making human service workers look real bad. You made me want to get my license up. Don't make no damn sense with them.
There's several people out here that are tired of y'all motherfuckers. And I'm one of them now. So y'all got a gang of people behind y'all ready to chop y'all heads off. That witch's head need to come off. Gerald Palmer, you need to disappear. Gonna report videos after talking all that shit. And you are a faggot. That's what you are. That's what they called you, and that's what you is, a faggot. I'm sick of your ass. Like I said, Andrea need to be buried, and you need to be shoved right up.
Yeah, that is in California, who thinks that she is going to make herself the sheriff of YouTube, the sheriff and the mandated reporter of all people who have donated their time and money to Dr. Umar Johnson, anti-Afro Svengalis. Listen up. I'm in a whole nother time zone. I have absolutely no plans on ever meeting you. I wouldn't ever want to be in your space. I think you're trash. That's my personal opinion. You know what I do for a living because you and Gerald Palmer fully doxed me and then deleted the videos thinking that it was going to go away. It doesn't work like that for me.
Cheryl Whitty. She also has You Empowered Services. She has an anti-Afro Svengalis page. She has Cheryl Whitty Therapy Chair. She has Cheryl Whitty Therapy Chair with the diamonds, and then she has Surviving Life Hurdles. And counting, Cheryl Whitty has at least 6 accounts that she just goes around and around and around harassing us. It's ridiculous. She's also under formal investigation for what she did to me and Rev G. The board has already contacted me. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's breaking news. Cheryl Whitty is under formal investigation for doing the same kind of stuff that she's doing as a social worker. I don't know the lady, never met the lady. I have an email where she's just, it's crazy. And she constantly make videos about us, about chopping people's heads off. And I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you're dealing with around here, man. People don't stop on their own, man. They don't stop on their own.